Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. I know they're the same old coins that I look at, but it's nice to see that some of them are moving. So I suppose it validates what I've been planning, which is for, I suppose, an alt season to mid-January. So some of these tokens are moving now. So this happens, I suppose, from time to time with me, because when I chart these trades out, basically, I do them mostly on a daily time frame, but usually I have referenced the weekly, because if I want to catch a big move, and they're the ones that we all want, you've got to look at the weekly, and so obviously when you're looking at a weekly chart, it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where these things go down. It makes it really hard to do high leverage trading, but it does make it easy, I suppose, to do low leverage trading, and definitely a lot easier to do spot and bot trades, because it gives you an idea of where things are going. So as we see at the moment, we're coming back up again to test the top area. In fact, we had a really big move, 73.5% Bitcoin dominance here. So because of that, it looks as though we're having the inevitable temporary rejection, bit of an altcoin rally, if you like. The interesting thing is that with the whole thing with XRP going on, the top caps, they are rallying, but the main rallies seem to be taking place in the mid or lower mid cap coins, which is good for me, because that is a lot of where my money has been riding. So it might not just be because of XRP, but it's I think it's mostly to do with the charts themselves, which is why I've obviously gone in on them. So let's have a look at those coins themselves. So Bitcoin, we're not really going to pay too much attention to Bitcoin today, because there's nothing really to pay attention to. I mean, we are massively overextended, but there is still room to move. You can see that the money flow index is nowhere near peaked. The RSI is high, the MACD is high. You go to the weekly, you see an even higher, more deadly read, I should say. So if we have a look at this and put it into context, this is where we are on the money flow index, and the last two times that we've come up into these areas were very significant tops here and here, with extremely significant retraces, as you can see here. 84%, and this one is around about in the 60s. We'll only measure it down to this level. This one's not really appropriate, because that's regarding a financial crash, so we'll measure it down to there. So we're about a 53.5% move. So if we are looking for another situation similar to that, which we could do, we'll just measure this out, 50%, and that would bring us down to around about 16. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because if we go down to where 16 is, it also corresponds to the last significant drop, which I suppose looks like nothing at the moment, but back down here, when we were testing dunking our feet into the water of the 19,000 zone, and then we came crashing back down to the 16,000 zone. So interestingly enough, that level does coincide with the similar kind of fractal that you would expect to see if Bitcoin were to retrace after basically peaking on a weekly money flow index, which is essentially what it is doing right now. It's definitely happening. So, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen to that extent, but it's definitely something to watch out for. So 16,000 is still not out of the realms of possibility. It could definitely happen, and it wouldn't happen all in one go. It would be a consolidation, a mini bear market, if you will. Anyway, I don't want to scare you on that one. Let's just forget that, and let's concentrate on some of these guys. So FET AI, so this is the one that is yet to make any kind of pump of my bags at the moment anyway. So what we're looking at here, this is a absolute perfect example of accumulation after a consolidation. So consolidation and accumulation. We're not going up, we're not going down, we're meandering above and below the 200 exponential, and each time we move it's getting less and less and less volatile. The Bollinger Bands are now pinching, and the Ichimoku cloud is shrinking to the point where it's next to nothing from top to bottom. And this is a volatile asset. When it gets going, it's going to be huge. So from top to bottom, that's 18%. That's not much at all when you're looking at a chart that does do moves like this. And again, just to put this into context, from the bottom here, from the March crash all the way to the top, that's a 2,000% increase. Even some of these drops from the consolidation, the pullback, or should I say the dump, and they're very big. So this one, when it gets going, will be massive. It's just at the moment it's not started. So if we just have a quick look on the weekly chart, as we can see, coming into mid-January, we are going to be free to to make those moves. Now, we're not primed for it at the moment. The MACD is still not turned up, but it will. And once we break and close above this 50 exponential and also the 20 weekly moving average, which are both coming in at the same zone, which is basically just above 6 cent, then it will really be ready to go. A closure on a weekly above there, so maybe not this week. That's fine. We're talking about mid-January, so I do believe that we'll be moving into mid-January with a very, very, very good read on this chart. At the moment, I don't mind it taking its time. Again, accumulation is for accumulating in, okay? It's for buying it. It's for dollar cost averaging. It's for buying it. It's for buying it. So it's called an accumulation zone, ready for the inevitable pump, which will be significant and aggressive. All on track for that one. EOS raising its dirty little head above the 200 exponential at the moment, which is okay. And also, when we're looking at this on a daily, this is a very important level for it to get above and close above, because it's not just the 200 exponential, it's the green 50 exponential, the 200 and the 20, all in the same place. We really do need to close, above $2.85. Ideally, I'd really like to close above $3, because that would basically allow us to, you can't see it here exactly, but there is an itchy cloud conversion baseline cross that I am desperate to cross, and it's coming in around about this, and the same as FET AI basically coming in at the same kind of zone of the green 50 exponential on the weekly. So that's what we want to see. We want to see closures above $3, and then that one should be ready to go. Obviously the market needs to favour it. This is a top, I suppose it is still a top cap coin, but it's generally been forgotten about. But when we look at the chart, we basically see stair steps down, and I'm now looking to see the inverse of this, where it starts to stair step up, just like XRP. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, just like XRP. So basically, we were all on track for that. These indicators aren't looking particularly good, but again, it's not exactly ready. Once we're above that level, same as FET, they will be ready to go, and I'll be set all up on many margin trading platforms. I've even gone back into Bybit actually for a bit of action on this one, because I want to get as much of it as possible, because I'm not saying that we're going to go back up to our all-time high, and this isn't the all-time high. The all-time high was over $20, about $25, depending on the exchange. I'm not saying that we are going to go all the way back up there, but I think it is possible, because this next move that we get out of FET is actually going to be quite surprising to most people. We're going to probably come up to this zone here and maybe even peak above it. So we're talking about basically a 2x. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Basically a 94% move thereabouts on the next big move. But what we need to see first is that weekly conversion baseline cross and closures above $3, ideally a little bit more on the weekly. So FET, EOS, both looking okay. Ocean, so this one, again, I've said it on this channel, and I do focus on this one on this channel. I don't trade this one on its chart, I trade it on its fundamentals, but it is nice to see that it's actually had a nice pump today. In fact, it's a very nice pump. Let's just measure that. Oh my god, that is a very nice pump. So 25% move. Okay, so that is good. So I'm very happy about that, because I've been buying down at these zones here. This was my last area that didn't get filled, but I did fill all of these, and this was all my buy zone. And now you can see that if we just move this box over, essentially that is basically the launch pad. We've broken out of there now, we came back down to test it, and now we've basically launched from it. And now we're on the daily, we're closing, hopefully we will close above this green 50 exponential. This is a very young chart, we don't have a 200 on here, but if we go down to a lower time frame, maybe a 12 hourly, what we will see is, so this is the zone to really get above. We need to make sure that we stay above areas of, I'd like to call it about 42, 43 cent. That will allow us to inevitably form a golden cross on the 12 hourly, and we'll probably be looking to form one on the 4 hourly shortly. I mean, this one looks like it wants to go from strength to strength at the moment, but again, it's a young chart, and again, I don't trade this one on the back of its chart, I trade it on the back of its fundamentals, which is why I stock up on this one as much as I can. This chart didn't speak to me as such. It didn't look like the worst chart in the world, but basically the chart for me is kind of irrelevant when trading this one, because it's so small. I mean, it's very difficult to trade a chart that looks so small. It can be done, definitely. I mean, our buy zones were appropriate, for instance. We were able to predict those weeks ahead of it coming down to those levels, so that essentially has saved us a lot of money, because obviously I wanted to buy as much as possible, so I bought plenty of it down at those levels. But the chart itself isn't, it's not. I mean, look at these wicks. That says it all. I mean, wicks both sides, massive wicks both sides, and buying and selling pressure all over the place. But fundamentally, it's a sound project, and I see a potential for it. And I generally don't do that kind of trading. I like to trade on charts. But why not? Why not throw a bit of money into something that you think is a good idea? Trading like stocks, really. It's basically how I'm trading this one. Holochain, again, another. This is all my main bot trading setups that I've got, and it's been brilliant. Because what you want from a bot trade is you want giant big wicks up and down, trading within a range, buying and selling all over the place. So it's nice to see that this one did a big move, and this one was a phenomenal move. What we're on a daily here, so from yesterday, the move from the bottom to the top was a 62% move. I mean, that was beautiful. Absolutely brilliant. And again, I've been saying this for a little while now. This is one of those coins, one of those charts that has told me, it speaks to me and says to me, I am getting ready for a phenomenal move, but don't expect much from me until mid-January, which again, I am still sticking to that. This pump is likely to come, not a full retrace, but close to a full retrace, but this will forge, I imagine, the cross that we're looking for. As far as the rest of the chart is concerned, you might be tricked into thinking that this is dead and bearish, but it's actually going to be coming to a very, very nice end soon, mid to late January, like all these other charts that I'm trading. And again, when this one pops out, the all-time high I expect will be met probably sooner than most people expect. So if we were to measure that from where we are at right now, I mean, it's not actually that far away. It's only a 2x basically from where we are at right now. And I say only a 2x, but a 2x is pretty good, I have to say. So again, we're on track for this one. This one's looking good. A little bit of an early riser. And Algorand, again, this one decided to move before all the others. And these are all my bags basically. Most of the things I hold. Nice cross here, Ichimoku cloud cross on the daily, but how does the weekly look? That's the important thing. Oh, we're getting out of this red cloud over the next few weeks into mid to late January, and the Bollinger Bands are pinching, and we are above the 20 weekly, and the RSI is turning up, Money Flow Index is turning up, the MACD is crossed, and we're above the 0 point. I have no doubt in my mind that these areas will be taken out sooner than we think, and probably exceeded, probably just a little bit above, around talking about 86 cents or so, and then maybe a bit of a blow off top at that point, maybe reaching $1 or more. But these areas, like I say, will be easily met in the next month to 6 weeks or so. So I know it's just a bit of a recap on basically the way that these coins are moving, and I do say that this is going to happen. I've said that these are going to happen a little bit a while ago, and it's nice to see that they are playing out in the large degrees. So they're not just moving up; they are when they go, they are pumping massively. So I'm not saying that I called it or anything. I'm just saying it's nice to see that, because you have to be very patient when you trade like I do, which is studying weekly charts. You have to be very patient, and sometimes you can see all kinds of things going on in the market, and sometimes you end up doubting yourself, thinking, oh, I wish I'd have done that, look at this move, why did I buy this here, it's going down, blah blah blah. Particularly for my style of trading, which really is long-term technical analysis based on weekly charts, it can be a little bit painstaking, but it is very nice to see these things work out, or beginning to work out. And again, none of this is actually worked out yet. These are just little telltale signs that it is going to go the way I think it's going to go. The whole thing could completely cave in on itself if the market decides to cave in on itself. And again, when I always start my videos with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin could cave in on itself, and that would bring the market down with it. But for the moment, so long as it can hold itself together between now and I'd say mid-February, it should have given all of these tokens that I'm looking at the chance to make enormous moves before what I would say is the inevitable dump, crash, consolidation, whatever you want to call it, with Bitcoin. At the moment, people are getting a little bit too clever with themselves. All these newcomers into the market think they're invincible. But institutions don't make money out of thin air. What they do is they invest early, and then they take the retailers' money, which is essentially newcomers. So remember, the later you got involved in Bitcoin, the more at risk you are from feeding the giants who basically are known as the institutions that everybody's banging on about. Institutions only make money when they take it out. You can't use Bitcoin, to do your day-to-day business. You need to cash it in at some point, and every day that this goes up, it's not technically institutional money anymore. This is retailers' money going in. So just remember that. As this wick gets higher and higher and higher, it's getting more and more tempting for those big boys to scale out or take it out. So, like I say, I'm not here to ruin the party. In fact, I'm here to try and make the party. Like I say, I am bullish on all of these coins, so long as Bitcoin can hold itself together over the next 6 weeks. I think there's some really big moves to be made. 2-3x's on some of these coins, if not all of them. Anyway, I will leave it with you there, and thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, join the Telegram chat, and I hope you have a nice weekend, whatever is left of it. Take it easy.